The pandemic was a huge opportunity and we missed it, folks. This country, this world, we missed a huge opportunity to take the pandemic and use it for the greater good of all mankind, to make the world and this country a better place. We have now been left in a much worse place than where we started pre-pandemic. I was reading about the Solomon Asch conformity experiment that happened back in the 1950s. Look it up. It actually is quite interesting, and it got me thinking about all of the things that we did as a society, following each other, doing exactly as we were told, the social pressures of such bizarre habits that we could have been doing much differently to create a healthier people, a healthier nation. We were so quick to conform during the pandemic. We did whatever everybody else was doing. We did what politicians told us to do and what the news media told us to do. We followed arrows at the grocery store. There was the right way to go. There was the wrong way to go. And how dare you go down the wrong way of the grocery aisle? We could have used those arrows to point people in the direction of the fresh produce section, healthier options, teach people how to consume healthier foods. That's what you need during a pandemic. When the world is full of sickness, you need to treat the body with extreme care. We missed a huge opportunity. And what about those dots that are 6 feet apart? Instead of promoting separation, how about promote togetherness? Sit 1 to 2 feet apart at the dinner table every night and have a family dinner. Consult each other, comfort each other. We're in the middle of a pandemic. We need to be with other human beings. And instead of mandating masks, why wouldn't we mandate your own personal water bottle to make sure that you're staying hydrated through the course of the day? All that mask wearing and all of the water fountains shut down everywhere. You need to drink water. Our bodies are mostly made up of water, and that's part of being healthy. There were certain things we could have done to steer people if we wanted people to abide by our every word and every rule. There were better options, but those options don't make folks money. Remote learning and remote work were part of the pandemic. I don't think there was any way to get around it. We had to rely on technology to do our jobs, to continue going through school, but we didn't promote a balance. We didn't promote physical activity. And while screen time increased substantially in our youth, physical activity decreased substantially. It's not a great trade-off, and there's health complications for that trade-off. Retailers and restaurants were promoting vaccines by bringing in your vaccine card and getting a free donut a day for a year. What a great way to build a healthy community. Or in some places, you'd get a free French fry if you showed your vaccine card. How about showing the number of steps you walked in a day to get a free fruit parfait? Or maybe it's a mile a day, got you a free side salad or some apple wedges from your favorite fast food restaurant. What a great concept that would have been. And one of my absolute favorite parts that I find to be most ridiculous about the pandemic was the ongoing ticker that you would see on any news channel that you turned on. You couldn't get away from it. That had a rolling total of COVID cases in the country and COVID deaths. Not necessarily deaths from COVID, but if you died with COVID, you were counted in that total. How about we run an ongoing ticker, maybe about deaths due to heart disease, which for the most part is completely preventable. In 2021, there was 460,000 deaths due to COVID. In turn, there were 695,000 deaths due to heart disease. What kills more people? I wonder. And are we better off today than we were then? I don't think so. 81% of COVID deaths happened in people 65 years and older. That is 97 times more than deaths that occurred in people 18 to 29. And people who are obese, have cancer, have diabetes, chronic illnesses, and who smoke are at a much higher risk of having a severe case of COVID than anybody else. So pre-existing conditions and being overweight definitely affect how COVID affects you. Roughly 40% of our population gained weight over the course of the pandemic, and the average amount of weight gained was 29 pounds. The presence of chronic illness and obesity actually increase your chances for mental illness, depression included. And depression and mental illness can also increase your risk of chronic illnesses and obesity. It's a chicken and egg. Neither one of them are really great, and we didn't do anything to address either one during the pandemic. Now mental health is a huge issue, and we are finding that the cases of mental illness and depression are on the rise. The number of mental health emergency visits in 12 to 17-year-olds rose 31% from 2019 to 2020, and the amount of suicide attempts rose by 22%. Bottom line is this: I feel like we as a nation, we as a people are owed a huge apology. The pandemic could have been an amazing opportunity to create a healthier nation, and instead we are left with more mental illness, more obesity, more chronic diseases, and big pharma chomping down our throats to get that next prescription. We are owed a huge apology. We have been tricked, we have been fooled, we have been fear-mongered, and we didn't do a darn thing about our overall health. In fact, we are much more unhealthy now than we were 3-4 years ago. It's really kind of a sad situation, but guess what, folks? Health does not make stockholders rich. Sickness makes stockholders rich.